Well, hello everyone. Alex, the Oilers fan here, and welcome to round two, game one between the Edmonton Oilers and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. A rematch of the 2023 second round series between these two teams, where Vegas bested Edmonton in 6 games en route to their Stanley Cup championship in 2023. And that series bugged me for a number of reasons. But the most important reason it bugged me was because of these two stats. In 5 out of the 6 games of that series, the Edmonton Oilers scored first. They scored first in game 1, scored first in game 2, scored first in game 3, scored first in game 4, and scored first in game 5. The only game they didn't score first in was game 6. And at some point in all 6 games, the Edmonton Oilers had a lead. Now, when you are bested by a team in 6 games and you need to win 4 games to win a series, that means Edmonton only won 2 games. They had a lead in all 6 games, and yet they only won twice. And that bugged me quite a bit. Now, the Oilers lost that series for a number of reasons. Goaltending is important, number one. But I'm not going to hold the goaltending against them back then as I would now. Their goalie for that series was Stuart Skinner. The backup was Jack Campbell. And Stuart Skinner was supposed to be the backup, but Jack Campbell was a starter. But because Jack Campbell couldn't stop a beach ball back then, Stuart Skinner was thrust into the starting position. So I don't hold it against Skinner as much as if I would now. Obviously, if he was in net now and it was bad, I would 100% be holding it against him. But back then, I don't. The second reason they didn't win was because of bad in-game adjustments by Jay Woodcroft, who was the head coach back then. And by that, I mean there was no in-game adjustments. But I look back, I look at this team right now. I'd say Edmonton's deeper than they were back in 2023. I think they got a better defensive group. I think they obviously got a better coach. And it's just one of those things where on paper, I think Edmonton can take it. I have my prediction in 2023 was Oilers in 6. And I'm sticking with that prediction, but it all depends on how Edmonton plays. And if Edmonton plays like they did in Game 5 against LA last round, yeah, I think they can win in 6. But if they play like games 1 through 4, this is not going to be a long series, and I don't think Edmonton's going to win it. That being said, Oilers in Vegas, bit of an interesting history the last 4 years between these two teams, as the last 4 years, these have been your Pacific Division representatives in the Western Conference Final. In 2021, yes, that 2021, the Vegas Golden Knights were in the Western Conference Final against Les Canadiens de Montréal. And for anyone who was wondering, that seems a bit odd. Yes, it was, because in 2021, there were 4 divisions in the NHL. All 7 Canadian teams were in their own division. It would make sense. They're all in one nation. All the American teams were split up in their own sort of newer divisions, but the Canadian teams were in their own. And as a result of this, technically, the Montreal Canadiens were playing in the Western Conference, because after besting Toronto in 7 games, they had to play the Winnipeg Jets in round 2 and the Vegas Golden Knights in round 3. So technically they were in the Western Conference. So 2021, Vegas was in the Western Conference Final to Montreal. They lost in 6 games to Montreal, as Montreal went on to represent Canada in the Stanley Cup Final, where they lost in 5 to Tampa. Then in 2022, the Edmonton Oilers were in the Western Conference Final against the Colorado Avalanche. And looking back on it, yeah, Colorado was a damn good team. And as a result, Edmonton gets swept by Colorado. Then in 2023, of course, after beating Edmonton in round 2, the Vegas Golden Knights were back in the Western Conference Final against the Dallas Stars, where they won, I believe, in 6 or 7 games. I'm not entirely sure, en route to their Stanley Cup. And then, of course, last year, Edmonton was in the Western Conference Final, also against Dallas, where they won in 6 games. So of the last 4 years, the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights have been were in Edmonton or Vegas were in the Western Conference. Now, there's another trend recently that's been happening. So Vegas fans, anyone watching, anyone listening, I will say this right off the top. If your team beats Edmonton this year, you are going to win the Stanley Cup. That's just how it goes. The last 3 years, whoever has beaten Edmonton in the playoffs has won the Stanley Cup. Like I said, in 2022, Colorado beat Edmonton. They win the Stanley Cup. 2023, Vegas beats Edmonton. They win the Stanley Cup. Last year was more obvious than that. You know, you're going up against the one team that if you lose to is going to win the Stanley Cup because you're in the Stanley Cup final. But it's still kind of funny that it happened 3 years in a row that a team beat Edmonton to win the Stanley Cup. So Vegas fans or Vegas Golden Knights fans, if you guys are watching, if your team beats Edmonton this time, you're going to win the Cup again. So. But let's go ahead and take a look at the lineups. From what I can tell, Edmonton has not changed a thing from their lineup in regards to. Oh, okay. So I say lineups. Alex Pietrangelo is not playing tonight for Vegas. He is out tonight. So he is not going to be playing. So that's a huge. That is something Edmonton needs to take advantage of. But let's go ahead and take a look at the lines here. Like I said, absolutely no change from Edmonton. This makes sense. McDavid between Leon Draisaitl and Corey Perry. Normally, I would not like this decision. It has been proven time and time again that Edmonton is a deeper team with McDavid and Draisaitl down the middle. They are a better team with McDavid and Draisaitl down the middle. But considering the fact that the Oilers outscored the Kings 9-7 without McDavid or Draisaitl on the ice, tells me this could work. The only problem is they're going up against the Knights, who are a very deep team themselves. So I feel like this is not going to stick in game. I feel like in game this is going to get changed around a bit. But as of right now, I don't mind this because McDavid and Draisaitl were not needed to win that playoff series for Edmonton. They only had like a handful of points between them. In fact, in Game 6, they only had 3 points. Or no, in Game 5, they only had 2 points between them, and they were both assists. That's it. They didn't score a goal. They didn't, and that was on an empty netter, by the way. It wasn't even on a goalie. It was on Nugent Hopkins' empty netter. Second line, Nugent Hopkins between Vander Kane and Zach Hyman. Third line, Adam Henrique between Trent Frederick and Connor Brown. Fourth line, that third line, Henrique, Brown, and Frederick has been nasty for Edmonton. I have loved that line, what they did against LA. Fantastic stuff. Fourth line, Matthias Janmark between Vasily Podkolzin and Victor Arvidsson. Another underrated line. And this is why I don't mind this lineup. Every single line out there has gone out and done something good. Nugent Hopkins has been produced. Hyman's been producing. Kane's produced a couple goals. Henrique, Brown, and Frederick combined for a great goal in Game 6 in an elimination game. Podkolzin, Janmark, and Arvidsson, they scored the 2-1 goal in Game 5 against LA. This is a deep forward group. I can't complain about these lines. Normally, this is a lineup that I would be going, what are you doing? But no, this one, I like this. Defensively, though, this is where Edmonton's going to have to be their best. And right off the bat, I do not like the first pairing. We have Darnell Nurse, Evan Bouchard. These two guys leak chances consistently. I don't know why Knobloch is not splitting these guys up. The only justification I can see behind this is that Wallman, Klingberg, Kulak, and Emerson have actually been decent. So I guess his logic is, well, if I have two pairings that are doing good and one pairing that's doing bad, the two pairings will outweigh the one pairing that's bad. Okay, I agree in that logic, but by the same time, Nurse and Bouchard are taking up a bunch of the minutes. They're playing the majority of the ice time. So if Ekholm was playing, and he will not be playing this round, regardless of what happens, this would not be happening. But it's just, this is what happens when your best defender is out. And then, of course, starting in goaltender, starting in the net, starting goaltender, the only goalie in these playoffs that has not lost a game, Calvin Pickard, and he's running a 4-0 record right now. And I just jinxed it by saying that. But hey, this is Edmonton Oilers in Game 1. They usually lose these. I think their record in Game 1 in the McDavid Draisaitl era is 2-8. The only 2 Game 1s I can think of that they won, 2017 round 2 against the Ducks, and then round 1 last year against the Kings, and that was it. So, yeah. Let's see if I can get the Knights lineup here. Yeah. They have a bunch of emojis because they are idiots. Okay, so, well, I'm just going to run their emojis here, and then we'll see what they have. We'll go to Daily Face-Off. There we go. Here we go. So we have a cowboy, a slot machine, and a Moya statue. So I don't know what that is. I don't know what line that is. We have a crying face with a smiley face with the hair, a turtle, and a key. Don't know what that is. Barbershop sign, king, apple. No idea what that is. A pear, bread, and a snowman. Don't know what that is. A tractor, a bear. Don't know what that is. A giraffe, a dragon. Don't know what that is. A handshake, a cloud, and well, they have a mountain and net, but it's Aiden Hill starting. So we're gonna go ahead and I don't know Vegas' lineup, but let's go ahead and let's take a look at the line combinations here. So your top line is Jack Eichel between William Karlsson and Mark Stone. So the Eichel McDavid matchup is going to go head to head. The only problem I have with that is that right now in 2023, Eichel dominated McDavid in that matchup. McDavid just couldn't shut him down, and the only player who could shut him down, I think, was Draisaitl or McLeod. But by the time that Jay Woodcroft realized that, the series was over. So yeah, Jack Eichel between William Karlsson and Mark Stone, Tomas Hertl between Brandon Saad and Keegan Colasar, Nicholas Roy between Ivan Barbashev and Riley Smith, and then Brett Howden between Tanner Pearson and Victor Olofsson. Defensively, McNabb with Braden McNabb with Shea Theodore, Noah Hannafin with Zach Whitecloud, and Nicholas Hague with Caden Korsazak. As far as I know, I think as well, Pavel Dorofeev is not going to be playing in this round. Let's take a look. Pavel Dorofeev is day-to-day, listed as day-to-day. And, of course, the goaltenders, Aiden Hill, backed up by Akira Schmid. Now, one of the things, now a couple of notes from that series that happened 2 years ago. A couple of things to note about what happened 2 years ago. So the series really shifted in Game 5 between Vegas and Edmonton. So up until that point, the Oilers were rocking a 2-1 lead, and I believe it was the second period, and then they got into penalty trouble. I think Janmark took a double minor, and then I think there was another penalty on top of that. The Vegas Golden Knights scored 3 goals in about 2 minutes to turn a 2-1 deficit into a 4-2 lead. They would hold on for the 5-3 victory, and that kind of sealed the deal for Edmonton. The second thing was Edmonton chased their starting goaltender, and it was frustrating to watch after what happened in Colorado. So what happened between Colorado and Edmonton in 2022, Game 1, they were up against Darcy Kemper, who was the starting goaltender for the Colorado Avalanche. They pumped him for a bunch of goals, and he ended up getting pulled in Game 1, and they turned to Pavel Francouz for the remainder of the series. Edmonton could not solve this guy. In 2023 against Vegas, Vegas's starting goaltender was Laurent Brossoit. Edmonton pumped him for goals until he got injured in Game 3. Aiden Hill came on in relief, and Aiden Hill was a stud for Vegas, not just against Edmonton, but certainly for Vegas and the rest of their playoff run. And I'm a little concerned that Aiden Hill is starting today because even after that playoff series, Aiden Hill plays Edmonton like he is a brick wall. Edmonton just has a problem solving this guy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens between Aiden Hill and Calvin Pickard. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But we got the anthems under the way here. They're doing out Canada, so we're just going to let things go here. But my keys to the series for Edmonton, I have 3 keys. Number 1, kill a damn penalty. The Oilers are rocking a 60% penalty kill rate in the playoffs, which is 16th. Now it's 8th because there are 8 teams that are gonzo. So they are dead last in the playoffs on the PK, which is a far cry from what they were doing last year. Last year, the Oilers played 25 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They only allowed 4 power play goals against. They allowed nothing against LA, 3 against Vancouver, nothing against Dallas, and 1 against Florida. They dominated on the PK. And that is part of the reason why they went far. If you look at all the early exits that Edmonton has had in the McDavid-Draisaitl era, so we're talking, well, I say early exits, but if you look at all the times they didn't go deep in the playoffs, or at the very least look at their penalty kill over the McDavid-Draisaitl era, the penalty kill stinks. They can't kill a penalty to save their lives. Last year was the first time where I could go have them take a penalty and be like, yeah, they're not going to score. No, that's okay. They're going to kill us off. It's okay. Congratulations, guys. You're killing 2 minutes of your time. Thank you. Right? And this year, they're rocking a 60% on the PK. Like, it sucks. It sucks. And you're not going to go far with that. So, number 1, learn to kill a penalty. Number 2, play with the lead. Like I said, they scored first in 5 out of 6 games in 2023. They had a lead at one point in all 6 games, and you only come away with 2 wins? Are you serious? Hold a damn lead. And number 3, I'm a little more confident in-game adjustments. Chris Knobloch is great at in-game adjustments. This guy does everything right when it comes to in-game adjustments most of the time. Jay Woodcroft did not do any in-game adjustments. He was like, it was like a pandemic to him. He just avoided it at all costs. Knobloch, he's not the same. If he sees something that's not working, he's going to make that adjustment. So we'll see what happens here as the anthems have just wrapped up. And here we go. Game 1. Game 1. Starter, you have Calvin Pickard, who's 4-0 in these playoffs, 2.93 goals against average, and 893 save percentage with 0 shutouts. And at the other end, we have Aiden Hill, 4-2 record, 2.83 goals against, and an 880 save percentage. So he is actually rocking a worse save percentage than Calvin Pickard. And here we go. Edmonton, Vegas. For the second time in the last 3 years, a trip to the Western Conference Final not on the line yet, but it will happen. One of these teams for the 5th year in a row will be in the Western Conference Final. The question is, will it be Vegas for the 3rd time in 5 years, or will it be Edmonton for the 3rd time in 5 years? Here we go. Eichel versus McDavid, opening faceoff, and McDavid is not going to win it as the Knights send it back to Shea Theodore. And they're going to get it in deep. Eichel would have been offside there, so he had to tag back up. Braden McNabb's going to dump it into the Oilers zone. Eichel, shot. Easy save for Calvin Pickard. Bit of a knuckle puck, but Calvin Pickard was there with the butterfly save. Referees tonight, Eric Furlat, Kelly Sutherland, with your linesman is John Murray, and I didn't see the last guy. Who was the last guy here? Johnny Murray and James Tobias are your linesmen for tonight. 16 seconds in, shots already 1-0 Vegas. Not a dangerous shot, but that would have been bad if it went in. So here we go, Eichel versus McDavid. Again, and McDavid's going to win that faceoff this time. Here we go, Corey Perry. Stretch pass, tries to find Draisaitl, nothing doing there. And Nurse is going to send it back in his own zone over to Evan Bouchard. Bouchard up to Draisaitl, Leon Draisaitl. Now, of course, last time these two teams played game 1, Draisaitl had 4 goals, and Edmonton still lost the game. If you guys remember, that was an intense game 1. Draisaitl scored 4 goals, and usually when one player scores 4 goals in a game, you're probably going to win the game, but like I said, goaltending cost Edmonton a little bit. Draisaitl, nice drop pass to McDavid. McDavid with the shot. Did I just say McDavid? McDavid with the shot. Easy save for Aiden Hill. So 2 shots in this game so far, 1 each, 1 aside. Nugent Hopkins is going to get pulled out of the faceoff circle. And here, I remember this. Kane, I think if I remember correctly, he had that "fuck around, find out" quote. I honestly hate when players do quotes like that, because it becomes a meme later on in the game. And I remember when Vegas eliminated them, they're all the Vegas fans were saying "fuck around." Oh, Calvin Pickard nearly gives the puck away there. Kane with the poke check. Here we go. Oh, Kane might have some space here. Oh, sends it in on Hill. And Hill is going to have to cover up because Zach Hyman was streaking towards the net. And we're going to get flashbacks here, probably to, oh no, they're going to, yeah, Hayden Hill had to cover because Zach Hyman was streaking down the side. And I think, I honestly think that, yeah, like I said, Edmonton, I think is deeper this year than they were last year. Or not last year, last time these two teams played. Here we go. I think that's Keegan Colasar busting down their left, finds Tomas Hertl. That should be a hooking call right there. Is that a hooking call? How is that not a hooking call? My goodness. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Vegas was the least penalized team in the league. You're kidding, right? You better not. You're kidding, right? All right, so Hurdle got and he's bleeding. Okay, so Edmonton's going to be on the PK here. So Edmonton just took a penalty right there. Oh yeah, here we go. So okay, so here we go. Yep, NHL favoring Vegas once again. So there was no penalty on the play, but they're reviewing it. Yeah, so Nugent Hopkins just took a 4-minute double minor. No, I know. All right. So early test for Edmonton here. The dead last ranked PK in the oh boy. That's just so fucking stupid. All right. Well, the dead last PK put to the test here. Shea Theodore shot, and that's a goal right off the bat. So William Karlsson gets a tip. Yeah, and you know what? Whatever. We knew this was going to happen. All right, well, Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Minute 30 left on the PK, but it's already 1-0 Edmonton. So this was the script in game 5. Oilers get into penalty trouble, and they can't kill a fucking penalty. Here we go. Riley Smith, back to the point. Over to a guy, back to Riley Smith. He misses it. Here we go. Oh, 2-1 for Edmonton. Here we go. Matthias Janmark. God. Shoot it. Like, what were you seeing there? His stick was in the way. Oh, my freaking God. All right. My God. Oh, here we go. Shot. Who is that? Number 22? Or I was 27. Shea Theodore splitting the defense going down the middle, but it's easy save. Yeah, like what was he seeing there? He should have shot it. All right, back to the point. 25 seconds left on the power play for Vegas, but they've already got their 1 goal. Here we go, shot. And that's going to rise up. I think it was blocked in front. Mark Stone. So they're giving the credit to Mark Stone. It's saying it deflected off of him last, so they're saying, yeah, they're giving credit to Mark Stone. And an Oilers stick breaks off the face-off, but the Oilers are going to get the kill with 10 seconds to go on the power play. And, yeah, Oilers are going to clear it down the ice right onto Aiden Hill. All right, so Oilers go 1 for 2 on the PK technically, but, I mean, here we go. Arvidsson, backhand shot, saved by Aiden Hill. He tried the bank pass, and Hill's got it. It's underneath Aiden Hill. 14:46 left here in the first period. Vegas holding on to a 1-0 lead. Yeah. Rebel face. Oh, shot off the post. Trent Frederick. Down low for Adam Henrique, I think. Is that Henrique? Yeah, Henrique down there. Or that's Kane. My apologies. Kane shooting it. So it looks like we're getting Frederick with Kane and Nugent Hopkins. Bouchard skates into the zone, passes over to Nuge. Nuge thought about the drop pass, but he saw Kane was not with him. Frederick It's Kane. I'm getting my ones confused here. Behind the net, Evander Kane takes a hit from Zach Whitecloud. Nugent Hopkins sends it over. Bouchard's going to go down and pinch. Back to the point. Corey Perry there for support. Kane tries the short side stuff. Nothing there. Sends it on in front. Intercepted by 3 Golden Knights, and they're going to clear the puck out. Bouchard is going to send it up. Here goes Draisaitl. Draisaitl. Drop pass. A little bit of a miscommunication there with Brett Kulak. And here come the Knights. 3-on-3 rush. Carlson is going to shoot it. Saved by Calvin Pickard. Klingberg, who looked really good against LA. Not going to lie. He didn't look good during the regular season, but in LA, he stepped up. McDavid tried to pass, or Draisaitl tried to pass to McDavid. Puck is going to go in front. Picker's going to be there with the save. We get our first commercial break. So, did you guys see that the Rockstar released a second trailer for GTA 6? After it was announced 4 days ago or not 4 days ago, I think it was yesterday. 4 days. Yeah, I think it was Friday it was announced that GTA 6 has been delayed till May of 2026. Today, they released a trailer, the second trailer, for the they released a trailer, the second trailer today. On the one hand, I don't know. It's making me more excited than it was, and I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely Nugent Hopkins that got him. They were saying it was friendly fire. It was not friendly fire. It was Nugent Hopkins. Yeah, Hurdle's all back and stitched up. So here we go. Face off to the right of Calvin Pickard. Kulak. Puck dumped into the night zone. Emberson finds Brown. Here goes Adam Henrique. He's going to flip it into the night zone. Oh, shot. Missed the net. Emberson is going to send it down low for Connor Brown. Connor Brown behind the net. Tied up with 2 Vegas Golden Knights. Frederick is there too. Griffin cross checks. Back to the point, and that's going to go all the way down the ice. Not for icing, though. Shots are 6 apiece, but yeah. Again, PK continues to haunt Edmonton. Bouchard finds a guy. I don't know who that is. It might be Frederick. No, that's Janmark. Matthias Janmark loses the puck in the corner, and the Knights are not going to be able to get it out. They kind of sort of do. Oilers have to tag back up. Here come the Knights. Riley Smith can't hold that puck in. Here come the Oilers. Bouchard finds Nurse, goes across. Shot, saved by Aiden Hill. Here come the Knights. They're just going to flip it into the Oilers zone, go for a change. Klingberg. Oh, that's going to be icing, actually. It's going to be icing against Vegas. Okay, interesting. All right, so Draisaitl. So they get up away from the Eichel matchup because I Vegas iced it, and they're gonna flip it down. Wallman tried to go cross ice to Klingberg, but Klingberg was going somewhere else. So, all right, so McDavid's out there. We try to go. Eichel's out there too. The puck deflected off the skate. I want to see what Corey Perry does to Vegas here. Here we go. Shot or pass by Vegas. Corey Perry sends it over to McDavid. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Corey Perry. Here we go. Draisaitl tried to pass it to McDavid. Nothing doing there. Here comes Jack Eichel. Eichel looking, passing, waiting, shooting, scores. Mark Stone's got 2. Oh boy. All right. 2-0 Vegas. If Pickard lets in one more, we're probably going to see Stuart Skinner in the net. Ay. Hyman. Shot. Saved by a Hill. Nurse. Bouchard. Over to Nurse. Nurse, come on, guys. You need to get the next one. Oh, shot. Missed the net. That's going to go all the way down. So Mark Stone has 2 goals here. Vegas leads it 2-0. Less than 10 minutes into or more than 10 minutes into the first. Pickard over to Bouchard is going to set it right back to Nurse. Darnell Nurse. Brown sends it up for Adam Henrique. Henrique is just going to dump it in. Trent Frederick's going to give chase. Frederick. And what now? Are you serious? Another one? Ivan Barbashev just got high sticked, I think, and the Oilers are going back to the PK. Ay. Ay, ay, ay.
So it's available for free on CBC Canada's home for streaming. Mark Stone is giving Vegas a 2-0 lead, but no power play here, Louis. Little friendly fire.
Okay, so they're saying it wasn't actually. So let's see what happens here. So Noah Hannafin's going in. Oh yeah, it's his stick for sure. Yeah, so Noah Hannafin. Fuck. Okay, so no penalty. But it's still 2-0, so that doesn't make it any better. All right. Well, McDavid behind the net tries to send it up front to Draisaitl, intercepted, and here come the Vegas Golden Knights. Eichel. Shot. Blocked in front. Draisaitl. Here we go. 3-on-2 rush for Edmonton. Draisaitl. Drop pass for Klingberg. Klingberg. Back to the point for Wallman. Jake Wallman sends it in front. Tip just wide of the net. Klingberg holds the zone, but the Vegas Golden Knights are going to gain possession. And Eichel is going to skate it into the zone, drop pass. And it wobbled a bit at the line, but it didn't go out, so it's still onside. Now the Oilers are going to force the Vegas Golden Knights out. Here we go. Hurdle sends it over. That's going to get dumped into the Oilers zone. No icing, so Pickett's going to stop behind the net. Klingberg. Stopping, waiting, sends it up. Oilers passes are constantly in their feet right now. Like they send a pass and it's in the feet of the guy they're trying to pass it to. Podkolzin falls. Janmark. Podkolzin and Arvidsson. That's going to be offside. That's Brandon Saad. Ay, 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 ay.
So who's winning?
2-0. Yeah. Yeah, this is preseason hockey right now. This team was not ready for this. Shot blocked in front by Wallman. David Trip, no call. Because, of course, it's no call. McDavid drops for Draisaitl. Okay, so can we put Draisaitl and McDavid on different lines, please, right now? Because this top line's got nothing going for them. Corey Perry behind the net. Sends it over to Draisaitl. Draisaitl. Back to the point, Bouchard. And, instead of passing it down low for McDavid, why don't you, fucking shoot it? No one is shooting. Everyone is passing. Another pass. Oh, my God. Shot, missed the net. Nurse keeps the puck, and that was actually a good keep by Darnell Nurse. But he couldn't get it over to Draisaitl, and the Knights are going to clear it out. Arvidsson. Down low. Arvidsson. Puck holes in. But Puck Colson's getting into it. All right, another commercial break. I think there's less than 4.5 minutes to go in the first. So there's the only good news is that Edmonton is down by 2. So, they say that 2 goals are the worst lead in hockey. Number 1, and that's number 1. Number 2 is it's the first period. But, yeah. Definitely am not liking what I'm seeing right now. Definitely do not like what I'm seeing right now from this team. Okay. There we go. There we go.
Was not victorious in that game.
All right, shot from the point, blocked in front. Here comes Vegas. 4:22 left here in the first period. And I think the puck deflected out of play. Oh, man. So, Brett Howden, I think, deflected that puck out of play by accident. All right, here we go. Face off in Edmonton zone to the left of Calvin Pickard. Edmonton's going to win it. They're going to clear it out, and now it's going to be icing on Edmonton. Good job, boys. Thank you for allowing Vegas to get a free entry into your zone. We're going to redo that face-off. There you go. Face-off won by Vegas. But they can't get it. Well, they get a non-possession shot. And Oilers are going to clear it out, but it's not going to go down for icing. Riley Smith. Chip in charge. Goes in. Can't get the puck. Klingberg is going to send it up. Here you go. 2-on-2 rush. Draisaitl goes cross ice to McDavid. McDavid. Corey Perry scores! Corey Perry! And Edmonton's on the board. Finally, that top line actually does something. Good job, Edmonton. That was perfect. Perfect pass. Klingberg to Draisaitl, goes cross ice to McDavid. It was essentially a 2-on-1. That was perfectly executed. So here we go. All right, so with 3:34, Edmonton got one back. All right, there is hope now. That was perfect because that was a perfect play. And that was also, he's not going to get an assist on that because Draisaitl was the second last person to touch that puck. But Klingberg with the perfect stretch pass to Leon. Leon finds Connor, and it was essentially a 2-on-1 down low. Two Knights go to Draisaitl, and only one is covering McDavid and Corey Perry. And McDavid finds Perry, and Perry just dances around. Dances around and outweights Aiden Hill. So Edmonton's on the board. Shot from the point, potentially blocked in front. 2:40 left here in the, 2:47 left here in the first period. Oilers are only down by 1, and they are out shooting Vegas 10-8. So Oilers have a bit of life. The question is, can they need to tie this up again. And I know that's kind of obvious, but they definitely need to do that. Connor Brown. McDavid. So they're getting McDavid another shift here. Bouchard's going to pinch. Draisaitl. Back to the point for Nurse. Nurse tried to go cross ice. Going to be intercepted by Mark Stone, and here comes Vegas. Mark Stone is going to flip it in. Carlson's going to go after it. William Karlsson tried to pass to Eichel. Draisaitl's going to backhand pass. It kind of deflected off a Vegas Golden Knights player right into the slot, but the Oilers had to port, so it's not a bad thing here. Nurse. So we're not going to call Oilers sticking chopped out of the hands. Corey Perry. Drop pass for McDavid. McDavid. Corey Perry. Oh, Aiden Hill. You took that net off yourself. That should be a delay of game.
That's exactly what happened. Looked like Corey Perry had a free lane to...
That should be a penalty.
And again, it's McDavid attacking to the middle, finding Perry, freezes Hill.
Are you serious, Hill? Come on. You did that on purpose.
I mean, that's not a shove off to go back to the right. That's a shove off to get himself back into position. But does come off the boards. No hand went up. They had a case. Nugent Hopkins out there with Kane and Hyman. Offensive zone face off. 90 seconds to go, first period.
All right, fine, whatever. We keep trying to go cover the short. Fine, whatever. It's not like when Henrik Lundqvist just went, yeah. That you can call. That you should call. I get that. All right, here we go. 3-on-2 rush. Oh, again, a pass into the feet, guys. Come on. Get your passes together. Shot. Saved by Pickard. 59 seconds left in the first period. Oilers are only down by 1, so. Oh boy. Okay. Well, yeah, it is what it is. All right. Knights. Win the face-off. Draisaitl. That should be a penalty. No? Are you fucking serious? Are you actually serious right now? Back to the point. Shot from the point. Missed the net. Oh boy. Edmonton, just get out of this period down by 1. You just need to get out of this period down by 1. Here we go. Kulak off the boards. Here goes Frederick. Finds Connor Brown. Trent Frederick tries to sweep it in front. Nurse went to the net. 18 seconds to go. Nice potential back check by Nurse there. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. Nice clear. That's going to go all the way down. No, it is not. It went off the boards and it's going to die in this night zone. But with 2 seconds left, it's not going to make a difference. And the Edmonton Oilers escape the first period down only by 1. All right. So that's going to be the first period in the books. Overall, not bad, I guess. I mean, okay, fine. The 4-minute double minor. Yes, it was a double minor, but at the end of the day, you know, they called it after the fact. I don't know what to. Honestly, I don't know what to make of this one. On the one hand, yeah, okay, Edmonton's only down by 1, and they did outshoot Vegas, but on the other hand, they were sloppy. Passes into feet, passes off of errants. Just as Austin Hockey said in his live stream, it's like preseason hockey from Edmonton right now. So, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over. You guys can watch me do this. I'm going to play some Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll be right back. There we go. Oy. Okay. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2. A game I knew existed, but I never really got into it until recently. And, well, I say recently. I've only been playing it for like 2 days. I'm not very far into the story. But I like what I've seen so far from it. So there's that. Let's get some Red Dead 2 going here. All right, get the story going. All right. All right. Oh, it's a mulligan. All right, cool. Whoa. Yes, I do. All right.
Let's go, boy.
I guess and that says Grizzlies West. All right, cool. All right, let's go see what pull to maintain the horse's canter. Yeah, I know. The weather is harsh. Return to camp. Really? Oh, jeez. Is my horse dead? Okay, buddy. My horse is just laid out. What?